Today I've been joined by Stephanie Simpson, who plays with Darebin Falcons in the VFLW League. Steph, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Cooper. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Now, Steph, how did your footy journey start for you all the way back when you did start?
Ooh, I started playing footy when I was probably 4 or 5. I just picked up a footy in primary school and you couldn't get out of my hands. It was called Vic Kick back then, but it's called Auskick now. But did Auskick, did junior footy, and then when I was 14, I had to give it up. And it wasn't until I was about 22 years old that I bumped into Daisy Pearce and Astor O'Connor at a charity footy game in Warrandyte.
Okay.
And I was playing soccer at the time, but they just convinced me that I had to come down and give it a go. And pretty much the next week, I came down to Darebin, and I've been there for about 17 years now. So yeah,
pretty impressive. So when did the VFLW journey start for you? When did you kickstart that part of your Darebin journey?
Well, yeah, the VFLW started in 2016, but before that, it was obviously the VWFL. So I've been playing in that since 2009.
Well, it's amazing. Do you recall to the standard of the footy back from then, Steph, to now, and the drastic change it's made since then, and then getting closer to the last few years?
Yeah, look, I was very lucky to play alongside some very good footy players. So yeah, look, when I joined Darebin, we had our reserves and our senior team, and I walked into the club and I was amazed by the standard back then. But yeah, to see it grow today and with the AFLW, hopefully the VFLW can continue to grow just as much alongside it.
So how many games do you reckon you've pulled up in your career through all the leagues and all that? What do you reckon would be a rough number, or do you know the exact number?
I know close. I think if I'm lucky, I might get to 200 senior games this year. And I played probably roughly about 60 junior games. So
okay, nice. Now I asked that because in cricket recently this year I reached an official career milestone of 200 games, and it was junior stats. It wasn't recorded right, and all this debate people had with me like, no, they're not 200 senior games. It doesn't count. I'm like, no, junior games do count to your overall tally. So what do you think about that? Because that's really annoying me when people say that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's these days as well, you've got everyone obviously celebrating 100 VFLW games is quite a milestone, but then for someone that's played in the VWFL for a number of years as well, it's hard to be like, well, I'm nearly up to 200 senior games. So, but I mean, yeah, either way, it's a massive achievement to play 200 games of anything. So,
Sure. Now, when you did play your very first game for Darebin, do you recall that in terms of how you went? How was the lead up to how you ended up joining Darebin at that point? How was that?
Yeah, I think back then, all the girls at Darebin just wanted to get people down to play. So I think someone picked me up from the train station, took me down to training, and I trained that week, and I got to play against Diamond Creek at Diamond Creek on the Sunday, where we had a win. And I did all right. So, yeah.
Very good. Now, we've fast forward 15 years or so to the last few years of Darebin. Obviously, after the competition started to grow in the VFLW, your team has decided on to continue to go very well. In particular, last year, I feel like the improvement started to show last year. Even if there wasn't wins on the board, you were definitely pushing it to some teams that have either ex-AFLW players or a lot of current players that were playing in some seasons. And then you started this year and you had some mixed results, but some very good results in there, including the weekend against the Pies. Steph, it must be pretty cool to notch the first win for the season on the board in great fashion in a 4-quarter effort against the Pies.
The first 3 games were tough, but we knew if we just stuck to our guns, stuck to our game plan, just continued to play to our structures and do things that we needed at training for us, that would eventually come off. And I think on the weekend, we had obviously a great win. Mon Di Matteo kicked like a massive goal with under a minute to go. So honestly, I was on the bench at the time, and as soon as she had the ball in her hands, I said, you couldn't want it in anyone else's hands. So, but yeah, I think obviously at the start of the season, you always get a lot of AFLW players coming in and out of other sides, so it's hard to know who you're coming up against. But I don't know. I think if we just keep sticking at our guns, I think we're going to have a really good season and carry on from what we finished off last year. So,
Sure. That round one game, I know we spoke about off camera, but that round one game against the Bulldogs, the result, if you look at it as a whole, you're sure the first quarter didn't go to plan, but for the next three quarters, when they had a stack of AFLW players in it, must give you some confidence, which has led into this win against Collingwood. I'm sure that they had half an AFLW team, and you push it for 3 quarters after the first quarter, and I think you beat them overall in the last 3 quarters. So it must give you some confidence going into future games, not just the Collingwood one.
Yeah, definitely. If we can put 4 quarters together, I think we can be competitive against anyone. So it definitely gave us that sort of drive to kind of keep going and keep at it. And I think, starting to get some scores on the board will start to help that. But I think we just have to keep sticking to our processes and, just playing as a team. And I think we had one of our best team games on the weekend.
For sure. Now, in terms of the players of the club, obviously, I love asking these teammate questions, Steph, so these can go any which way. But before I do that, now you play in the forward line, is that correct? And have you always been one to play in the forward line?
No, I've played probably half of my career on the wing and half on the forward line. So last season I was mainly wing. But I don't know, just wherever they kind of need me is where I'll end up, I think. But I don't know. I've tried to think about which one I like better, but it's very different positions. On the wing, you can see the game from a different perspective, and it's all open, and you can use the angles. And I don't know. I'll probably end up playing forward line for most of this year, I think. So.
That's good. Kicking a goal on the weekend too must have been pretty nice.
Yeah, it was good to get on the scoreboard, but I almost thought it was going to hit the post, so I was just very happy that it went through and I could finish off the hard work of the whole team up the rest of the field. So, I was when I saw it bounce in, it was that close, and I was like, so very happy.
That's right. As I always say, it doesn't matter as long as it goes in. Doesn't matter how it happens. It says 6 points on the score. You get a goal next to your name and the team as well. So it's like doesn't matter how it goes in. It happens, right?
Yeah, totally, 100%. Yeah.
Sure. Now, in terms of teammates, I love asking these teammate questions. So this could go any which way, Steph. So the first one is, who loves the limelight, the attention, the camera at Darebin? They can't get enough of it, and they know what to do when a camera's around.
Probably Ella Southgate. She loves to get on camera, and she's a bit cheeky. So she's always good when it comes out.
That's good. Who would Google themselves and want to watch back their own highlights?
Oh, I definitely think Mon after the weekend for sure.
For sure, yeah. I mean that's a good clip just to watch back over and over and over again.
Oh, I've certainly watched it a handful of times, and I was showing everyone at work today. So,
for sure that'd be a good one. Now, who's some players that kind of fly under the radar, Steph, and don't get talked about as much as you feel they should? Yeah,
I think Alyssa Mifsud is having one of her best seasons in the midfield. She was predominantly a forward for a lot of her career and has made the move into the midfield for the last season and this season. So, I think she's having a really good season. Her leadership off the field has been amazing throughout the whole preseason. So I definitely obviously hear about the Ange Gogos, which you can't take anything away from her. She's having another ripper season, and Caitlin Bunker. But Miffo's working just as hard in there as well. So.
For sure. Just speaking of Ange Gogos, you just spoke about then, 17 clearances, 33 disposals on the weekend. You can't get much better than that.
No, she's just an absolute beast of a competitor. Just to watch her work rate and the way her ability to win a ball out of nowhere is just second to none. So I love having her on my team. So
for sure.
Very lucky.
Sure. In terms of the VFLW competition, I know some people might say it's biased, and I don't think it would be if you were to say this. Would you say she's probably one of the best VFLW players in the competition right now, considering not just because she gets disposals, but the impact that she has in the team, and and obviously was a key contributor to the win on the weekend?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Like her clearance work, but she just brings her whole team along with her, and it's really important. We've got so many young and new people to the VFLW that it's so important for them to see how hard she works on and off the field. So, I definitely think so.
Now, if you were stuck on a deserted island with teammates, Steph, who would you bring and not bring, and why?
Oh, that's a really tough one. I would probably bring Sabine Dubaquet because she's just one of my besties. Oh, actually, I can't say that because Nicole Callan will probably get a little bit mad as well. The hardest one would be, who would I not bring?
Anyone have a particular trait that you don't like then if it's not an individual person?
Not really. Not that I can think of. I don't really want to stitch anyone up right now. So
Okay. Fair enough. Oh, well, this is kind of a similar question to the first part of your answer there, but who are some of your favourite teammates? You just listed off a few there.
Well, I've played footy with Nicole Callanan for many years, so yeah, we're very close. Sabine Duparquet, she's also one of my besties. But I don't know, it's just a great club to play at Darebin. So yeah, you probably put any of them on an island with me, and I'd get through. So
that's good. Coach's pet. Is there a coach's pet of the club?
Oh, I would say the current coach's pet is probably Riley. But yeah, she's also a great kid as well.
That's good.
Yeah, she's just always there and doing the right things. But yeah, you can't hold that against her. So
very true. Now, who would you say is the best chatterbox of the club?
Oh, chatterbox. Well, Caitlin Bunker loves to chat, but she loves to chat. Lily Beatty's she's also up and about most of the time. So, but yeah, there's a lot of chatterboxes in our team, so it's hard to get a word in most of the time.
Well, like I was saying to some people, sometimes it is a good thing, especially on a football field where you need to talk. So, I mean, you kind of need, they can't be mute.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
For sure. Now, what's something someone does at the club that you can't stand, whether it's leaving rubbish around, just being flat out annoying, jump scaring people? I know that was a trend probably a year ago. Is there anything that comes to mind?
I don't know. I'm just starting to get used to all the TikToks being made at training. So, I'll try to stay out of it. But whenever, I don't know, they're everywhere at the moment. So that's probably something I'm getting used to, I think.
Yeah, I could never understand TikTok. I'm only 27, but I can never, get around that. I still can't. People say to me, "Oh, you should do it, especially for the channel." I'm like, no, I don't really care about it. I see a lot of people love it though, but I don't. Yeah. Certainly don't.
Yeah, definitely. The girls are getting around it. It's a different way for them to connect with other people, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't understand it either.
I mean, look, some of it is funny, I will admit, but in terms of putting me on in front of it for certain dances and that, no chance. Now, you can pay me $1 million, it's not happening.
Yeah, no, me either.
No, not happening. Now, if you can name 3 teammates to form a rock/music band, who would be in that music band and what would the band be called?
Oh, rock/music band. I'd probably go. Maybe, who would I go? Probably Bella, Lucy, and Ella and Taylor. It'd be some sort of, it'd probably be some sort of girl rock band. I don't know what it'd be called though, but yeah.
Nice and basic. No lead singer.
No, I don't think so. I think they'd all try and be the lead, I think. Yeah.
They'll take the number one spot, all on the number one mantle. That would be the one, the front and center, the poster person, everything like that. Now, who would you say is the loudest and quietest teammates?
Oh, Lucy Burgess is probably one of the loudest. And then the quietest would probably be Little Liv. It's her first season in VFLW. So, yeah, she's pretty quiet.
That's good. Now, if a teammate or teammates would appear on a TV show in any form, who would be on that TV show and what would it be?
Let me think. Probably like some sort of Survivor or something. You'd probably put probably Bella or Lucy on, I think. Yeah, that'd be pretty funny on there. So
it's all right. Now, if you were to poach one player from another VFLW club, only one, who would you poach and why?
Ooh, it's a good question.
And it's a tough one. Or you can pick a few if you need to.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a really tough one. Can you come back to that one?
I sure can. Now, the club Darebin, Steph, what does the club Darebin mean to you?
Yeah, look, it's a place where I've kind of grown up. I came to it when I was in my early 20s, just for a bit of fun, just to play footy. Like, I love footy, but I didn't really understand what I was walking into. And it's probably the most inclusive environment that I've ever been a part of, and a place where they accept you for your whole self, no matter who you are, who you love, and what you identify as. And I just have tried to give as much as I can back to the club in my time here. I just love it. So I think it's a really important part of the VFLW, and I really hope that we can keep going for as long as possible, because I think the way that we conduct ourselves on and off the field is like really important for other clubs to see. So
Sure. In terms of like attracting players to the club, people that either, are from a AFLW club, they get let go and they come down to the state league levels, and they generally, they always will generally try and go to other clubs. Now, Lulu Beatty's a fine example that someone that's gone back to the club she was originally at prior to Carlton. What kind of like recruiting process would you kind of have? Or like, what would you try and pull to try and convince someone that may be thinking to go to an AFLW line club or Williamstown? So what would you say to someone, and why you feel like they should try and join Darebin and give it a go?
Yeah, look, I think if you're being, I don't know, we just want you to be the best version of yourself on and off the field. And if you're doing well in both of those areas and having fun and enjoying your footy and learning, and I think we can support that. And we've got so much experience on our playing list that we can support people that want to make it to the next level, because I think we've got so many people that have made it, premiership players from AFLW teams, and other people like Lulu in itself, like her coming back to the club was massive. But I think she just wanted to enjoy footy again. So I think it's important for people to enjoy it. Like I hear so many stories about people giving it away at such a young age these days. And it kind of makes me upset that that's happening. So I think for us to provide a space where people can enjoy their footy again, but also improve and teach them those, elite standards. Yeah, I think we've still got a big role to play.
For sure. And then obviously you had some changings in coaching, obviously getting taken to an AFLW club. What was kind of like that time frame of like when that was happening? Obviously you're happy for the individual that gets promoted and then having a new person coming on board. But is it a bit frustrating in terms of the team as a whole? Because, you have all these processes where you have this a coach in for the whole preseason and then they get taken away on the verge of the season starting? Yeah,
well, look, for me, like I've been involved in VFLW the whole time since AFLW has been started. So we've had players coming in and out of players, administrators and coaches coming in and out of our program to go up to that level. So whilst, it probably was a little bit hard for us to, it just happened just before the season. It's going to happen. And unless the seasons align or they're so different, like you kind of need to expect that those things will happen. But super happy for Lockie, and he's gone to Essendon. He's coaching with Natalie Wood, who was a former player at Darebin Falcons. So, really happy for him. But I think in terms of Cameron Williams taking over, Cameron, has been a massive part of our preseason, and for him to take over and, get his first win on the weekend was massive. But I think we've, done really well over the last 3 or 4 weeks to get through that time and make sure that it doesn't impact our season too much.
No, that's right, for sure. Now, individually, who would you say has been one of the toughest opponents you've ever had to match up on, whether that's an individual player or a team throughout your time in the VFLW comp? Who would you say that would be?
I think, like, for anything, I think Daisy Pearce, like, getting to train alongside her for a lot of my career at the start of it. If you were to pick a player that you wanted to go up against to make yourself better, you'd always pick her. She's just superhuman, and I think she saw a game differently. She saw it. She's always 10 steps ahead of anyone else. So,
any personal footy accomplishments, Steph, that you had throughout your footy journey that you can remember? Any premierships throughout the time?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to play 9 grand finals in a row.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was pretty lucky to come to a club that had a lot of success. Ended up winning 7, and then we lost 2 as well. So, yeah.
Jeez. I'm just trying to process that. 9 grand finals in a row and then 7 wins out of those 9. I mean, normally if you lose 1 or 2, you'd be pretty disappointed, but you won 7. Pretty good.
It's pretty lucky. Not a lot of people play in one premiership, so to play in that many is pretty wild. But I think one of the most memorable ones was at 2017 at Marvel Stadium. It was kind of the end of an era, and one of the last times that group got to play together. So it was pretty cool.
Okay. Well, it must have been pretty awesome. Not only do that, then play with the players that you said that we were going to move on and everything, and then play on Marvel as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. So, yeah, that's definitely something I'll look back on once I've hung up the boots.
Now, there might be devil's advocate to ask you a better retirement question. And they always, in football age, I'm going to stress enough. I'm talking about football age. They say in your 30s is towards the end of your footy career. How long do you feel like, Steph, you can keep going at it at any level of footy?
Well, look, I'm in my late 30s, so I can't imagine too much longer. I love it, and I know I can still compete, but it's just really tough on the body and really hard to get through pre-seasons at this point. But yeah, you never know. But I'm not sure, to be honest.
No, it's fair enough. What would you say though is your overall strengths, though, Steph, as a footballer as a whole?
I think I've got really good game sense. Yeah, I've always been able to read the play pretty well, and yeah, and I'm pretty quick as well, so that helps. Very
good. Any nicknames you get at the club that you like or dislike?
No, it's just Steffo. So
nice and cruisy. That's good. Yeah. That's a good thing.
That's it. Yeah.
Sure. Now, mark or goal of the year, which one would you rather do and why? They're really debatable.
That's a tough one. Probably mark, because I don't think I probably am known for that. So.
Okay. That's a smart way to think about it, because some people just say to me, they go, oh, well, I'll go the goal because I can't take a mark, or whatever one they choose. It's like that's the whole point. The point is, which one would you rather do, not what one can you do.
Yeah, I think mark, because I don't know if I can do it. So
no, that's fair enough. Now, what is the best goal you've ever kicked at any level at any point in time? Doesn't have to be in an official game. It can be training, mucking around with someone. What's the best goal you ever got?
Look. In the semi-final in 2017, we were behind, and I think, I kicked a goal, 35 out. I think that was probably one of the most pressure that I've been under. That one, and then we also played back in 2011. There was a game that went to extra time. It ended up going to golden points. So whoever scored a goal won. And yeah, I kicked a goal that was probably like a meter off the ground and just sailed through after probably 35 minutes of extra time. So.
Wow. Cool. Yeah. That definitely another memorable moment for sure. Now, fun facts about you, Seb. What are some fun facts about you that people may not know about you?
One of my favorite singers is Delta Goodrum.
Okay. Interesting.
I've got 4 sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, and before I played footy, I played soccer, so I'm a mad Matildas fan.
Nice. In terms of when you made that adjustment from soccer, you said you were playing that earlier days. Did you ever clash with both at the same time? Was there a period where there was years where you were playing both in the same year, and then once you got to Darebin, is that kind of where you separated the soccer component?
Yeah, I pretty much basically quit soccer straight away. I always loved footy more, but when I was 14, the closest club was like half an hour away, and to play senior level at that age just wasn't really going to work for me and my family at that point. Yeah, so I don't know. I think as soon as I got back to footy, it was all footy. I've always loved it, and yeah, probably always will.
That's good. What would be a rule in the VFLW competition you'd like to add or remove? Because one thing for me, Steph, and I've always found this one very interesting, that this happens at other state league levels as well. So it's not just in VFLW, but with the clock not stopping, I feel like it's within the rules, but I feel like you can have a way where people can intentionally cheat the time, they kill the time and then like that with a flat 20 minutes. Do you feel like they should stop the clock when there's a ball up and when there's a goal, so it doesn't invent the time wasting that some people have? Because there is games that could happen in, and has happened in.
No, I definitely think that would, probably what we're used to. I'm also just not really used to the lasso every time that happens. I'd probably take that away. But one thing I don't miss is when they, what was that one where you had to have one in the 50-meter arc? At all times. So I'm glad they didn't stick with that for much longer.
No, for sure. Yeah, because there was a prime example. There was a game in the Waffle a couple of years ago, no, a year ago. There was a team, I think it was one districts. They were up, they were losing by 2 points, I think it was, right? Then there was about, there's a minute and a half to go. Districts had a mark about 65 metres out on the boundary. Minute and a half to go. The player on the mark for the opposition had cramp or they were injured. So they laid down like they were shot for a good minute and a half. And as soon as the siren went, I kid you not, the person on the mark, well, they weren't on the mark, but they were the one that was meant to be on the mark. They just stood up. They jumped up as soon as the siren went, just like nothing happened. And I thought, wow. And then most people aren't going to kick 65 metres in any comp. Well, I mean, it can happen, but very unlikely, right, for anyone. It's like, you know, it just like that moment. I thought of that before that, but in that moment, like, okay, this is ridiculous. You know, a minute and a half to go. You're on the ground for that time, and as soon as the siren goes, you get up, knowing that they're not going to kick the distance. It's just like smart because it's in the rules, but also I don't feel that's within the spirit, if that makes sense as well.
Yeah, and you want things to be fair, but that kind of behaviour reminds me of soccer a little bit. So yeah, that's why I love footy. It's I don't know, a bit different. So.
Yeah, speaking of soccer, I mean, that's what I always say about the acting and staging, and they look like they've been shot and then they miraculously get up and something like that. Now, hot topic food questions, Steph. I love asking this because it's always so controversial and so many people get worked up over it. So how this will work, I'll ask you 6 food questions. The lowest score anyone's ever got is a bunch of people on 3. No one's ever got under 3. So I want to see how you go with this. And there's only 13 people that have got all 6 correct. So first one, the most controversial one, chicken palmy. Is it a palmy or is it something else?
Palmer.
Oh, well. That I was expecting. They said the Victorian people, I know I'm Victorian myself, but I don't get it. Okay, I'm going to try and change your mind, which I probably won't, but I'm going to try and say it anyway. So there's 2 things I say to people that say something opposite of palmy. I'll tell them to spell it. It's an I, right? And I'll tell them to pronounce it. It's parmigiana.
Yeah,
so,
parmigiana.
All right, we're not going to win on there. 0 for 1, so great start. Second one. Yeah, great start. Second one, pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, God, 0 for 2 now. Some people have started 0 for 2 and then end up getting all of them correct, or at least 3. So not a great start. Next one, you should get a point for this one. Tomato sauce, cupboard or fridge?
Fridge.
Okay, I'll give you a point because I always give everyone a point for this, unless they say neither. So 1 for 3, that's better. Favourite food?
Chocolate.
Good answer. Here we see you're coming back. 2 for 4. Just need at least 1 more. Food you don't like?
Coriander.
Yeah, I'll give you half a point. So I'm a bit undecided on that one. So 2.5. You need a point. Now, here we go. The pressure's on you. You'll be the first one out of over 150 people, Steph, so no pressure. Right. We'll see. Well, if Mon was here, she would have got the winning goal and passed it with flying colours after the siren, or basically. So we'll see. Now, favourite takeaway / restaurant place, or not necessarily a specific location, but more so the type of food?
Yeah, Thai.
Okay, got your go-to order. This might save you here and get a point. What's the go-to order?
Pad Thai.
All right, I'll give you half a point, so you got 3 out of 6. See, you're in doubt. You come back from 0.
Thank you.
No worries. Now, day or night person?
Probably day.
A lot of people say day. I'm trying to get people to say night. I'm curious because that's what my answer would be. Now, leadership aspirations, Steph. Is leadership something you've always been a part of, or something you've always wanted to be involved with at footy level, or just in general?
I think at Darebin, you kind of taught that, you know, whoever's wearing the jumper is kind of leading the club and, you know, representing the club. And I think it wasn't until kind of the AFLW started and a lot of players left the club that I came into more of a leadership role, and I've really loved it since then. And I just love passing on the knowledge that I've learned over the last 10 plus years to the new and younger players.
Just got a few more for you, Steps, that I really do appreciate coming on. Game day superstitions. Do you have any game day superstitions you must do? Because some people have some outrageous amount of superstitions, some have none.
No, I pretty much do the same thing every time. I wake up, eat breakfast, go for an activation walk, get my coffee, come home, foam roll, and then get to the ground, and I pretty much listen to the same songs that I've been listening to for a long time. So yeah.
Has there ever been a point where one of those things didn't happen, and did you get thrown off by it?
Often things don't normally go to plan, but not really. I don't normally get thrown off things too much. So yeah.
That's fair. Now, how much across are you with the AFLW competition, and who would you say is the best player in the competition? Because I feel like this question is so hard to answer. Like with the AFL, there's probably 3 names you choose between. But with the AFLW ones, I feel like there's so many options. Like the names I always say, Mon Conti, Ash Riddell, Jasmine Garner, Ebony Marinoff. There's so many names you could put in that category. Who's the best player in the comp for you?
I would say either Jazz Garner or Ebony Marinoff. Yeah.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
Obviously, Jazz can hit the scoreboard and play all different positions, but Noffy just keeps lifting each season. So it'll be pretty cool to see what she's like after another preseason.
For sure. And coincidentally, they have started their preseason training today. Now, the last one, and pressure coming on, is what is your big, bold call, Steph, for season 2025 in relation to the VFLW competition? It could be about an individual player, about your team, anything at all. What's your bold call for 2025?
Oh, tough one. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Darebin Falcons to make the finals.
That'd be a good story, considering, as you mentioned, all the history and everything like that. And with the season how it started, it'd be good to see that, and definitely we get more eyes on the club if that was to happen. So, Steph, I do really appreciate you coming on. All the best for this week and the future weeks. Appreciate you coming on, and all the best.
Awesome. Thanks, Cooper.
Thank
Cheers.
You.